G'day. I just realised I haven't had a rant for a while, so today is Ranty Day. And today I'm going to rant at the organisers of a surfing event in Hawaii and the pilot of a helicopter who engaged in what I believe is illegal activity. Yeah, I certainly believe, it's my honest opinion, this guy breached FAA regulations. Now, let's do a bit of background here. Now, we're often told that drones pose a huge threat to helicopters. In fact, we've seen so many situations around the world, so many occasions when rescue helicopters, firefighting helicopters, all sorts of helicopters have been grounded because a drone has been seen in the area they're operating. Now, this doesn't mean a drone has come even close to a helicopter, but we so often hear that firefighting operations have been suspended because a drone was seen, half a mile away from where helicopters were conducting water bucket operations to try and quench wildfires. And we have heard where rescue helicopters are unable to take off from a hospital because a drone has been seen nearby, and that's basically up to a mile away. So based on all this reporting, you would think that, my goodness me, drones and helicopters do not mix. And in fact, that's a reasonable assumption because there's always the risk of a drone hitting a helicopter, even though in all the documented cases to date, no major damage has occurred, no one's been injured, no loss of life. So what happened in Hawaii? Well, there's some video on the internet. I'll put a link to this video in the description. Go and have a look at it. Go and have a look at the whole thing. And apparently what was happening, there's a surfing event organised off the coast of Hawaii, and the organisers of this event very strictly protect their intellectual property rights. They don't want anybody filming this. They've sold the rights for coverage to obviously some media company for a large amount of money, which is okay. That's commerce, that's business, that's what you do. So, but then a Mavic turned up in the air, and as you can see in the footage if you watch it, the Mavic was hovering over some water, and there were some jet skis, quite a few jet skis in the water there. I think these were organisers of the event, or they were there supervising the event. Now, initially they tried to down the Mavic by throwing hats and caps and all sorts of things at it, but it was a little bit too high for that. So what did they do? Well, they called in a helicopter, a full-size manned helicopter, to blow it out of the sky. So let's just get this quite straight. Drones are a risk to helicopters. You can't fly a helicopter even if you just see a drone half a mile away. But in this case, the organisers and the pilot of the helicopter decided it was a good idea to fly the helicopter straight towards the drone and blow it out of the sky. So what do we learn from this? Either the organisers and the helicopter pilot are complete and utter idiots, or the risk associated with helicopters and drones in the same airspace is nothing like what we've been told. Now, you draw your own conclusion as to what the reality is in that situation. But obviously, if that pilot really did fear that drones posed a threat to his craft, he would not have flown towards it, he would not have flown over it in such a way that it got blown into the water. Now, there's also some other really important issues here. Under FAA regulations, and in fact the regulations in most countries around the world, an unmanned aircraft is still an aircraft. And the rules that apply to aircraft apply to unmanned aircraft. You are not allowed to deliberately endanger an aircraft, whether it's got a pilot in it or whether it's operated from the ground. Now, this helicopter pilot obviously endangered the Mavic. He blew it into the water. He blew that aircraft out of the sky. So he, I'm pretty sure, would have violated at least one or two FAA regulations in doing that. So should he be allowed to continue flying his helicopter, or should he be censured for this? I think he should be really heavily censured for it. My opinion is that he should even lose his pilot's license because he obviously endangered his craft. And one of the rationale given by the event organisers was that this Mavic was flying over people in the water, and that was a dangerous thing. It shouldn't be allowed. So what did they do? They brought in a 1-ton helicopter to fly over people in the water, and also had to blow the drone down into the area where there were people in the water. So I don't accept the rationale that the drone was too dangerous. A 900-gram drone is too dangerous, so we're going to put a 1-ton helicopter, something that weighs over 1,000 times more, has big chop-you-up, swirly-around rotor blades, is laden with jet fuel, and has a gas turbine engine. We're going to put that over your heads at very low altitude to get rid of the tiny risk from the 900-gram drone. Yeah, this all smells a bit, doesn't it? This is why I'm ranting about it. It's just unbelievable. I cannot believe this. But it shows the deception that we've been fed, this line of rubbish we've been fed that these drones are going to kill you. If you see a helicopter, if you're in a helicopter and you see a drone, you're going to die. No, it's not going to happen at all. That is utter rubbish, to use the best French I've got. So what should happen now? Well, I think the owner of the drone was an idiot, as so many of them are when you read these stories. I mean, why would you fly your drone there? Yeah, okay, legally, unless there was a TFA, which is a temporary, or TFR, which is a temporary flight restriction, unless one of those was issued banning drones from that area, then he was quite legally entitled to fly there. Now, the organisers may have been really pissed off that he was filming stuff that they had given an exclusive license to a media company for, but that's just tough, isn't it? I mean, that's just life. So, and I don't think really that he was going to make a lot of money out of it, because just filming stuff from a drone, it's not, you know, if you want to see an event, you go to the official channels, you listen to the commentary, you get the multi-camera angles. Just having a Mavic over a bunch of guys surfing isn't going to really challenge that in the terms of an economic or a business venture. But, okay, he shouldn't have flown his drone over there because there were people there. He was flying over people on jet skis and things. Not a good look, not safe. I would not have done it. But then again, the fact that someone else deliberately plunged his drone into the ocean and therefore probably destroyed it, I would sue the helicopter pilot and I would sue the event organisers if they directed the pilot to do that, because that's willful damage. At the very least, it is willful damage. You should sue them for the cost of your drone and recovery and so forth. Make an example of them, okay? Now, it's going to be really interesting to see what the FAA does on this one. I hope somebody lodges a formal complaint, because I have a feeling, I just have a feeling that based on my observation of how the regulators are working around the world and how they're all pally-pally with the manned aviation community and all anti-drone, I suspect nothing will come of this. Now, as I say, someone, the helicopter pilot, has deliberately endangered, in fact, deliberately knocked another aircraft out of the sky. It's a violation of FAA regulations, but I don't think the helicopter pilot will be held to account over it. I think it'll be a case of, oh, too bad, never mind, the drone pilot shouldn't have been there. Now, if that was another manned aircraft, if that was an ultralight or something flying up in there and the helicopter had knocked it into the water, what do you think would happen then? Yeah, I think there would be a big difference. So perhaps the regulators have to make their mind up. If they're going to treat drones like aircraft, then they should provide all the protections provided for aircraft, and they should deal with those who would dare to damage those aircraft. Otherwise, create a new category. They're not aircraft at all. They are something else. And they're a lower risk than aircraft, so they should be given more freedoms, less regulation, less requirements, because that's still, the irony still beggars belief that if you own a Quicksilver, it's a little ultralight, a little Quicksilver, if you own one of those in America, you can jump in it, fly it around, you don't need to register it, you don't need to register yourself, you don't need to be trained as a pilot. The sky is the limit, you can do whatever you like. But if you make a small scale radio controlled model of that ultralight, and it weighs more than 250 grams, you've got to register. You've got to register. So how do they work this out? That the tiny scale model of the ultralight is more dangerous than the actual aircraft itself, that beggars belief, and I think it shows that regulators have got a long way to go to catch up with the realities associated with RC models and drones. But there you go, that's my rant for today, just a single subject rant, that helicopter thing. As I say, go and look at the full video. It's only a minute long. Look at it. It's in the link's in the description. It's on YouTube. And tell us what you think. Have I raised a valid point here? Does it really become an issue that pilots of manned aircraft seem to think they can just knock drones out of the sky with impunity if it pleases them? What do you think should happen? Tell us what you think should happen next in this little saga. Put your comments in the comments place provided by YouTube. And if you like the rant, give it a thumbs up. If you disagree, if you're the pilot of the helicopter and you think I am a nutcase, give the video a thumbs down. And if you are new to the channel, subscribe. You'll love it. There's plenty of stuff, lots of variety on this channel. And there will be lots of variety coming up because I've got a few interesting, different things to show you in the coming week or two. Because the weather here is utter crap. It's been raining, hailing, blowing. Oh, anyway, you'll see on probably my RC Model Reviews channel and some more videos coming up here just what crap weather we've been dealing with. It's not spring in the Southern Hemisphere. It's still damn winter. Okay, there you go. Thanks for watching. I've rambled on enough. Another rant from XJet. Bye for now.